Welcome to Breaking Initiative. We are back. We are back. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, all of those things that we love for you to do for us. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. Whatever other podcast form, we're probably there. I miss you guys. My name's Brett.
And I'm Rob. This is the show where we break down our own tips and tricks to help you get the most out of your tabletop games. We share some of our favorite tools from around the community, discuss our past experiences, as well as new things currently happening in the hobby. And yes, we're back. We are back certainly because we took a very nice, long, relaxing vacation, which had absolutely nothing to do with us losing 3 videos worth of content to video data corruption. That was absolutely not why we haven't. Yes, this was all planned.
We were relaxed. Ha. Good times. Good times, guys. Yeah. Stress is not what you find in Breaking Initiative. You don't find that here. No. You find beaches, pina colada. Oh, you're allergic to pineapple? We're just going to give you coconut. That's what we do. We go with the flow. And we cry when all the guests leave. What? Okay, Rob, what are we talking about today?
We are. So I actually have a little treat for you guys. And you, Brett, because I just showed you this today, just to get your genuine reaction from it. So
yes,
I'm a little insane. I'm putting together just over the years since 5th edition started, I've been putting together this document of all my rules and stuff that I use. I think what would be really neat is if I always keep it doctored up really nice and clean and Word. I could just copy and paste some of the stuff and we can make whole videos about some real tools and things that I've built over the years to help me keep my players on my toes. And the one that I have today for you is probably one of my most devious ones. It's a portion of a draft I'm making on really a complete revision to handing out magic items and treasures and treasure troves and rewards and things. It's all focused on one very sinister, very controversial rule in Dungeons & Dragons, which has been a mainstay since the beginning, and that is cursed magic items. Love them or hate them, or love to hate them. It's probably one of my favorite things to throw at people, but has really lost a lot of its steam with the long life cycle that 5th edition is really having now, especially with veteran players. Brett, what are your thoughts on cursed magic items?
Sometimes they're so extreme. The few that I have dealt with and seen people deal with, it eventually just ends in death. It goes very it definitely can. Listen, I like the video game trope, right? A lot of times I feel like cursed items, you get them ahead of your level and you're like, oh man, I get to really do something crazy with it, but it comes at a cost. I like that. I like the gamble. I think it's really good for role play. Right. If you're not mid-maxing and really feeling like this is that's not the best thing, and sometimes it is sometimes it is the best strategy for a period to do that, but really just kind of diving into your character and if you find a cursed item and just I'd probably say that's me personally would be a really good strategy to give to a new player, or maybe a new player that maybe isn't brand new, but they've been playing for a little bit. Let's throw this at them. So they can really all right, how far can you go? Because you're always coming and doing the exact same thing every session. Now what are you going to do with it?
Certainly don't do it to them on their first mission. That will be a lost friend. So a cursed magic item.
They wouldn't trust anything.
Right. If you are one of those people that are so new that you don't know what that is, a cursed magic item is a magic item that appears completely normal. In some cases, an identify spell will be able to detect it. Some cases, the identify spell. I don't know if we said it. We're talking about 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons.
Right.
I feel like we need to say that just in case somebody wanders in here. It's usually what we're playing. it will, once you attune with the magic item, which is something you do with a lot of magic items, it latches onto you in a very negative way. So the problem with this is that there's not very many of them, which is, I guess, a double-edged sword.
Okay.
But because there's not very many of them, everybody pretty much knows them eventually. Like, eventually, you've encountered them, and either your DM comes up with a brand new cursed magic item, or you can be like me, and I have come up with this document that I'm going to share with you all and kind of go over a little bit. Allows you to put a curse, a unique curse, on any magic item. And they're all based on page 143 in the Dungeon Master's Guide. There's quirks for magic items, and there's properties, minor properties. And minor properties can be, that's not what we're talking about, but the quirks are kind of things that just kind of, they don't really help you, but they're things that are kind of interesting. And I thought some of them are actually almost a little detrimental, and I got this idea. What if I could expand on these quirks, add a whole bunch more of them, let's say 20 of them, so we can make a D20 table, make them generic enough or malleable enough that they could be applied onto anything, from a sword to a one-time usable key, that anything could be cursed, that all of my players that have been playing with me forever, anytime I hand them a magic item, there is a 0.75% chance that it's cursed with something that they've never encountered before. And it could be a potion of healing.
When you said anything could be cursed, that's the most evil look that I've ever seen. Anything can be cursed. Welcome to my table, children.
Yeah. And I actually even like to tell my players that. Started with like my last couple of campaigns. 2 campaigns ago, I started this, and then last campaign I had it pretty much completely finished and used it to some great effect. There's a 0.75% chance you hand one out. So it also comes with a precursor chart that I also use, and you're welcome to use that or not, or just ignore it. It's in the first part of the document, where you literally roll a D100 to determine if it's a regular magic item, if it has some minor properties to it, if it has some quirks to it, if it's just a mundane item that looks like a magic item, if it's an intelligent item, which is like I think a 0.8% chance, something roughly, or if it's cursed, and it might be cursed and have some, quirks to it, or it might be cursed with no hint or quirk whatsoever. So 0.25% chance of that.
What's the intelligent items? You go through that, because I believe that was one of the first things on the table.
It's the top. It's the 00, and then you roll a D8, and there's like I think it was like a 75% chance that you get at that point. It is, and that's the intelligent items at the in the they're listed in the Dungeon Master's Guide.
But when I saw that on yours, it wasn't all just negative as we're talking about cursed. It was like, you roll, and your intelligence because of this item automatically becomes 6. But it goes 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18, 20,
so that's
I think.
So that's that was a section I added on making intelligent items easier to deal out. You gotta scroll a little bit farther to get the curses. That's actually the intelligence score of the item itself. So that sword has an intelligence of whatever. If you keep scrolling just one more page, it's magic items, quirks, and curses. Right after that, it starts with, and I think it's a good point to get right into it. There's 20 curses.
Rob.
12 of them are based on the quirks that are in the Dungeon Master's Guide, expanded into curses. A lot of these curses are based on actual curses that are already on certain magic items, such as the Berserker Axe, which is a famous one, being one of the only early weapons you can get that have a curse on it. DMs just love to hand that one out because they just can't wait to, but it's so predictable at this point. Instead, that's called the Wrathful Curse. It does pretty much the exact same thing, except there's also the Sword of Vengeance, which is a similar one. And it's so if you get the Wrathful Curse, you just roll a d20, and it could be a weapon. It could be a necklace you have. It could be the amulet of proof against detection or location with a Wrathful Curse. And so what that does is it makes it to where anytime you're dealt damage, you either have vengeance wrath or you have Berserk Wrath. Berserk Wrath is like the Berserker Axe, in which you attack whatever's nearest to you until there's nothing, or you attack whatever dealt you the damage until it's dead or you're dead. And you have
now
no
is
choice.
that Berserker Axe? Does that deal with like rage, like when they go into a rage, when they go into contact?
No.
Combat.
So
it's just because I'm not fully like I remember hearing about it, but I've never dealt with it to where I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like once you get it, you just turn into no. And you're hacking.
That's just it. You have no idea. You think it's an axe that gives you a bonus to your health. So it's really a normal magic item, and you could even just hand it out as a normal magic item without the curse, which is something the book doesn't tell you. That just increases your maximum hit points.
Ooh.
But you have to attune to it.
Hold on, Rob. You got a buzz in your mic.
Oh, sorry.
Wait.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I think it went away. Yes.
New mic equipment for us. Christmas present.
Yeah.
Brett.
Ooh, hold on. You're a little low. Mess with your cable for a second. That's better.
Better?
Yes. Boom. You're back.
Okay.
Go.
So I think I was talking about curses and the Berserker curse, right? So that's the one where if it is cursed, you get hit. You have to attack the closest thing that's next to you, and if there's two things that are just as close, you determine it randomly. The DM determines how you determine it randomly, usually a die roll. So it's pretty devious because that usually goes to your barbarian, your fighter or something. It's like, I want more health. I'm the tank. It goes to the tank. And the tank is suddenly killing you in the middle of combat while other things are also trying to kill you. It's frightening.
That sounds horrible. Okay, so go through your tables.
Right. So we got some of them are very simple, right? We have the blissful curse. The blissful curse, and so they're each accompanied by the quirk. There's a blissful quirk, right? That's in the Dungeon Master's Guide. While in possession of this item, the bearer feels fortunate and optimistic about what the future holds. Butterflies and other harmless creatures might frolic in the item's presence. And so that's almost like a hint. Usually it'll be just a quirk, but there's a chance that it might also have a curse attached to it. This magic item's cursed. All initiative rolls made by the magic item's bearer no longer apply to the bearer's dexterity bonus and are also reduced by an amount equal to their natural proficiency bonus while this item is in their possession. So your proficiency bonus is subtracted from your... what did I say? Let's see. So all initiative rolls made by the magic item's bearer no longer apply to the bearer's... the dexterity bonus no longer applies to the initiative roll.
So does it make it basically just a straight roll?
Yes, and are also reduced by an amount equal to your natural proficiency bonus while this item is in your possession. And the bearer can no longer take the dash action while using an action in combat, as encounters no longer seem to have a sense of urgency to them because they're so blissful and unaware and not caring. They're taking everything very, very lightly. That's one of the simpler ones, right? And here's the catch, because obviously, okay, fine, I'll unattune from it. You can't unattune from it. That's part of the curse. That's part of every curse. And there's a list of things that apply to every single curse in this document as well to make this simpler.
How do you get rid of it?
Right. Well, usually the remove curse spell, but there's another little trick I like to add on to it. And I'll tell you that at the end. It's one of my favorite little tricks I've done. Also, all attack rolls made by the bearer, and I use this term, the bearer. That's something they used in the quirks, because this can also apply to somebody that's not attuned to it. You might want, if it's an item that doesn't require attunement, like a potion or something, it's whoever is holding it and using it is the simplest way to put it. It defines all of the specifics about what a bearer is in here. But I use that term instead of you, which is what usually a magic item says. Right. All attack rolls made by the bearer while the item is not in their possession have disadvantage, as an overwhelming feeling of sadness falls on them. So you either use this item, and if it's a weapon, you gotta use it, or all your attack rolls don't work. Like, you can just get rid of the item, and it's like, okay, fine. Maybe the curse does follow you still. Maybe it doesn't. That's up to the DM. But because it's not around you anymore, you suddenly lose that blissfulness. It's almost like an extreme loss of your euphoria, right?
Yeah.
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 Right.
You almost dive into a depression kind of thing.
Right. Exactly.
Because you were so up. You were so up, and now you're.
That's probably one of the simplest ones, right? And I wonder, there's 20 of them. We probably don't have enough time to go through it, but luckily I'm posting it in this video. I want to go through probably my favorite ones, the ones that kind of
go through your favorite ones.
Right. Let's see. Burden and Curse is fun. That's really the next one alphabetically. It basically just sticks to your hand. The moment you try to use it, or you grab it, or you're grabbing it and using it while you're attuned to it, depending on the nature of the item, you cannot let go of it. With all of your will, almost a magical force, you cannot so you're basically lost the use of one of your hands while you're holding onto this item. No matter what, you cannot let go of it to like do something else. Somebody could try to pry it out of your hands. You cannot pry it out of your hands. And if someone else tries to, it'll deal like, I think it was force damage or bludgeoning damage. It says
what is it again?
Bludgeoning damage. It's called the burdening curse, right? So the quirk that's attached to it, while the bearer is attuned with this item, they are the only one capable of lifting it. If no one is attuned with it, it weighs 5 times heavier than normal. So basically it turns into like Thor's hammer, right? You're the only one who can lift it. That seems cool. This is one of the quirks I made up. But actually, no, I think that one came with it. I can't even remember anymore. It's been so long since I've been using this. And the idea is that now once you're attuned to it, you literally can't. It could be like if it's a potion, you can't let go of the glass, and the potion just does nothing. Yeah. And because it's a magic item, you can't just shatter it. It makes it really. And there's a table for how much damage it would do if somebody tries to rip it out of your hands. It's literally like adhesive ripping off of your hand. So that one's fun. The frail one's kind of devious. If you try to cast the Identify spell on it, it explodes and deals damage to everybody around you and destroys the item.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That one's one of my favorite ones.
I feel like this is a good... I don't want to say like for a DM to like plan this.
Right.
But man, I just feel like there are some people that are just at the table that are running the table. And it's like, hey... here's some new stuff. No, person that already has, the nice person. You don't want this. Person who is like owning the table and who's optimizing. You need to get a curse. Like, I think that would just bring more fun and flair.
It really puts them in their place.
Here's the thing. I'm playing Curse of Strahd. We're both playing it, and I just feel like Nick and Lynn. Nick and Justin's character, both of them, they need a curse.
Yeah,
they're so good.
Well,
they are so good.
It's already broken as hell. A cursed gun that just. Here we go. Let's say Tradix.
We're literally talking about Nick's character, Tradix.
Yeah. Let's say Tradix, the gunslinger, gets one that has the trickster curse, which has a very interesting curse. Like, he gets a gun, right? He finds a gun in a dungeon. The trickster curse is one of the most malleable of all of them, because once you do, you pick what tricks this item's going to play on you. It might wake up in the middle of the night and move items around to just really screw with you, like steal your shoe and hide it somewhere, right? And that's how it starts. It might draw targets while you're holding it. Literally all arrows and projectiles just hit you. It might literally try to kill you in your sleep or in the middle of combat. It might be let's say my favorite time I used this one was that shield. Oh God, I can't remember the name of it. The one that's like a shield that just like floats around you. Well, anyway, so basically this one makes it like almost a secretly intelligent item. And it was the foolishness one, interference. It was basically like bopping him in the head in the middle of combat and trying to drown him when he was swimming. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I know.
So he just had disadvantage on everything.
Yeah. He kept it kept getting in the way of his attacks. It would move out of the way of attacks that were on him and stuff, like not doing what it's supposed to. But in particular, Devious Returner is one of them, in which if it's a thrown weapon or a projectile weapon, it always returns and attacks you.
So like, oh look, I throw Thor's hammer. Yeah, it's coming back. Wait, that's not slowing down.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
That one's funny to where you almost want to do it, where it's like maybe you skin it is either Thor's hammer, right? So that's
right.
cool of returning. So that's like wait, oh, I thought I had Thor's, or like a boomerang,
Oh, that would be funny, like a bladed boomerang.
Yes, or
it's almost asking for it
there
at that
is. So even if there's a way to even mix all this together, because with the wild magic barbarian, one of your surges, like your sword or whatever you're holding, becomes it's a throwable object. It becomes like however much times lighter, and it gets the 60-20 rule. And then it I can't remember if it either appears back at you or if it like actually like flies back at you.
Usually it's left up to the DM to decide.
Yeah, but then like if for whatever reason, if it was like a cursed wild magic barbarian, so it's some of its wild magic, maybe something. I feel like you could, like, if you had somebody like that in your campaign, you could maybe, if you're ever doing like an arc that's going into their backstory and they decide to get like a family emblem or something like that has a curse on it, and to where like some of their wild magic things actually wound up like having these defaults. So now it's like you do your wild magic surge whenever you rage, and then you just you roll on the table, you throw your sword, and then you realize maybe it doesn't disappear, then reappear back in your arms. Oh, that's flying back at me. Okay, I guess this is new. I catch it. Wait, no, this is coming back at me.
Right. So you can have like the identify spell like trick you into thinking that it has qualities it doesn't too. Like, if you throw this, it returns to you. Not really a lie.
No, it's not. It's not. Do you then, like, on that specific thing, do you roll a dexterity saving throw on the way back? Is that what you do?
No. It is definitely your attack roll against yourself. Because it is an intelligent item that's like, okay, I'm doing that against you.
What about after you have it for a few times? Like now it's like, oh, I know this is coming back to attack me.
Yeah. So in that,
I guess it's just I guess it won't be a dexterity saving throw if it's just it's coming after you, so it's against your own AC. You are still doing that. It's still the same thing.
It's a good idea to put more than one of these on there. So okay, thanks DM. I get it. It comes back and hits me. I'm not going to use that anymore. You're attuned to it. It's cursed, and you can't get rid of it. And also, it's going to murder you in your sleep. Just like starts floating in the air, just gun. You just wake up in a cold sweat, and there's this gun pointing like right up against your temple.
That's an automatic crit.
I know, dude. That would suck.
Good use of the microphone there, Rob. That was good.
Oh, thank you.
That was good.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you get these unattuned? Or how do you get these? Right. How do you besides just remove curse? You said you had some other ideas.
Specifically in the remove curse spell, it says, I'm paraphrasing. I'm half remembering what it says.
Sure.
If I were a more prepared person, I'd have it in front of me. But it insinuates that you can cast this to remove a curse, but that won't necessarily be always everything you need to remove the curse. It might not always work. It might not destroy any curse, and it's very vague about that in the final sentence of the description of the spell, leaving a lot of room for interpretation of, wait, what is this we can do that makes it harder? And you can I took a lot of inspiration from Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. If anybody's read that for their curses, they're more general curses, like I literally curse you on my deathbed, and entering this tomb curses you, not cursed magic items, which is specifically what this video is about.
Right.
And I call it a blood curse. You could call it a lingering curse, a vindictive, dickish curse, if you want, whatever you want to call it. It's basically it's a curse that has conditions. You may only break this curse if you meet these conditions that were set by the one who created the curse, you kill the one who created the curse, or you sacrifice like an innocent or something like that. You have to use blood to undo the curse. You have to be an evil person to undo it, or kill the person who did it, or do whatever this weird, creepy thing that this hag or really weird guy from down the road put on this curse he sold you on this item.
Off the top of my head, that sounds like the most probably common thing where it's like, okay, now I have this curse. Well, now there's going to be this whole extra arc of our story of like, you know, now we have a few sessions of like, what are we doing? I got to remove this curse. It's, you know,
you find the sage that tells you to go to the library and look up this old tome that tells you that this curse was laid by this person, and anyone who's given it, they must bring a drop of angel's tears to the top of Mount Crumpet or whatever. I don't know. And that's from the Grinch, isn't it? I just realized that after I said it. And I don't know, drink it.
No, that's good improv. You just came up with that location.
Oh, yeah, it's my new setting. You know, the land of Who. No, so you can set these conditions. Usually, it would be something that would give their original creators something, or somebody that they serve something, like desecrating a temple of somebody that was the against the religion that person was that created it, or
right.
Bringing a child to a hag, if you're one of those groups that's okay with some weirder, like darker sort of things. It's literally, you read the description of hag, they have some weird stuff going on in there. They like eat children and stuff. But
that's not okay.
Yeah, you think about the mind of these people that are creating these curses, these terribly evil beings, and what they would want. Because clearly the point is, okay, if you're going to break this curse, you got to do something for me.
Yeah.
Or kill me.
Yeah. Right. All right, Rob, so where can you have this document created?
Yeah.
Where
I'm going to put it in a
find
link. I'm going to put in a link in the description. There's a whole bunch of them. Some of them that change your sex. Some of them that, like, there's all sorts of weird ones. Some that change you into an animal. Some of them that summon elementals. There's just all sorts of crazy stuff in here. So just poke around in it. Some great stuff, and come up with some additional ones, right? If you have more of them,
and it's free. Are you giving it to them for free, Rob?
I am giving it to you for free. I want to keep releasing these little bits and pieces, and then maybe when I got a whole book's worth of stuff, I'll put something up somewhere, and release it as like a whole document or something on DM's Guild.
Sounds like a Kickstarter to me.
It's all about the passion, man. No, it's about being passionate.
All right. Sorry, I'm just the business guy. It's the half Jew in me. Yeah, but how can we get the monies, Rob? How can we get the monies?
It's so horrible.
It is horrible. I actually love doing this just talking, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. We good?
I think good.
Finally, us being back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for being present during this episode. Catch you on the next one.
See you when we see you.